Hi, my name's Paula Middleton. I'm from Manchester in the UK, and as it's Mental Health Awareness Week, I thought I would share a little bit about my story. Mental health has been something that I have had to adapt to most of my adult life. When I was 17, I was diagnosed with clinical depression, and I went on then to struggle with quite severe anxiety. And um, I've always had that, I guess, an underlying sort of feeling of worthlessness in some ways. And it's taken a long time for me to grow through that. There's a few different ways in which I've done that. One of the major ones would be with regards to my business. So if I take you back to when I was 17, I was diagnosed with um, clinical depression, and I did attempt suicide a few times. It was a very, very difficult time. And it was a very difficult time for the whole of our family. But I got well again. I went for talking therapies, and I'll be forever grateful to the psychiatrist that I was seeing at that time, because we did cognitive behavioral therapy, and it really opened up my mind to other ways of looking at the problems that I felt I had. So it was eye-opening, and from that, I mean, this I've always had a passion for sort of mental health and for helping other people. I just never kind of thought I would be in that position to be struggling with my mental health. So from an early age, I knew that I wanted to go into something that would help people. And following my depressive episode, I thought, I'm going to go to uni and I'm going to study psychology. And it happened that a university that I was aware of did a really good program for psychology and criminology, and it really fit in well with what I was interested in. And I thought, this is perfect. So I went away to university, Teesside University. And whilst I was there, I I struggled with feeling homesick. I made a few very, very close friends, but it always, and it still does to an extent, it takes me a little while to actually trust other people with my my emotions and things like that, because I think it's the Taurus in me, if anyone knows about astrology. But when I make new relationships, I do sort of give my all to them. And I don't do that lightly. I'm a very loyal person. And I think the trust or the lack of feeling able to open up to people, it's something that's always stayed with me. But it is something that I'm a little bit more aware of now. But at that time, it wasn't great. And although university is supposed to be the best time, one of the best times of your life, it was fantastic. And I would never go back and change um, going to uni, but it wasn't as amazing as I thought it would be. And that was because of the pressures I put on myself rather than anything else. So I turned 21 when I was at uni, and for my 21st birthday, my parents arranged for me to go on a trip to New York, which was a massive, massive dream of mine. And on the run up to that trip, I was so excited. My emotional health was very stable. Whilst I was on that trip, the same thing. I felt amazing. I was doing things that had been otherwise dreams for me. And when I got home, I thought, I've got the travel bug. I cannot just stay around where I am. I need to get out there. So I actually decided that I'd take a year out, and I applied to go as a camp counselor in America, and become a camp counselor. working in some of the summer camps in America, and it was a very sort of intense 2-day interview process at Manchester Town Hall, if anyone knows it. And I went there on my own, and I got through. And to be honest, at the time, I was so proud of myself, because to go through such mental health struggles and then just think, I need this in my life. I need to get out there. I need to see the world, and then go and do it. It was just a huge deal for me. And I got through. I got given a place that I could go to. It was in Boston, and I was so excited. It was for the following year. Unfortunately, though, when it came to sort of signing on the dotted line and getting everything in place and everything as it needed to be, there was a cut-off date, and unfortunately, my mental health raised its ugly head, and I didn't feel well enough to actually commit to going to the summer camps. So not only did I beat myself up about missing an opportunity like that, but I also still had emotional health issues, and they continued. And I just, for a long time, I thought, I've missed something down to my own brain not functioning properly. And it was something that I up until the past few years, it's something that I always held a bit of regret for. So anyway, that episode, then I got well from that. I went into work and worked in supported accommodation as assistant management, worked my way up to management with adults and young people with learning difficulties and mental health issues. And I was doing really well in my career. Um, and I was doing really well in my head, and things were going really well. And I met my husband, and we um, we were together just over 12 months, and I found out that I was pregnant. However, 6 months into the pregnancy, I had to have a unexpected scan, and they found that our son had tumours in his heart and in his lungs. And I was advised that he wouldn't survive outside the womb. And I was given a choice whether I wanted to go through the full 9 months of pregnancy, or whether I wanted to go and give birth because of the gestation period. It was necessary to give birth. So I didn't want to go the full 9 months, and I gave birth to my baby boy, Daniel, and I lost the plot. I lost myself. My mental health issues came back with a vengeance, but I was also on a bit of a self-destruct mission. There's so much blame that I put on myself, all sorts of things. It was horrific. If anyone's been through grief and lost someone in not even in that way, in any way, I'm sure that you can relate to what I'm saying. We go through so many different emotions. And as time went on, I again got well. I looked at I went again for talking therapies for grief counselling, and at times I did have medication. I'm not adverse to medication when it comes to mental health issues, although it is something that I'm considering different things with, because I do like a natural approach to things, but that's another story. So I got well, and we did, thankfully, we went on to have 4 more healthy, beautiful children, and they're all just absolutely amazing. Um, and what happened then, when it comes to travel, that dream I had all those years ago, it got to a point where when I was sort of 21, it's my head that stopped me, and my brain, and my mental health, emotional health, that stopped me from doing the things I wanted to do. When it comes to having a family and having children, it was my bank balance that was stopping us from doing it collectively. Um, So it was just kind of, I was like, there's got to be some way that I can start helping our family live the dreams that we've always had, because it's something that we were always really passionate about. Until I think 2018, I came across a subscription travel service. Now, I don't know about you, but what I tend to do when it comes to travel is I'll put money away each month for the following year so that I've got plenty there ready to book. Or sometimes I will book through a travel agent, or I used to book through a travel agent and pay monthly. Now, what this travel subscription allows you to do is pay monthly. And what it also does, though, it doubles the amount you pay in. So there's different types of packages you can get for this subscription, but whatever it is, and they're all affordable, but whatever it is you pay in, it gets doubled by the company. And when I saw that, I thought, this is the answer. This is everything that I could possibly need, because travel improves your emotional health. Travel is making memories is so important, so close to my heart. What do we have if we don't have memories, things and trinkets and stuff? I mean, tell me about it. Our house has lots of stuff in it with 4 children and with my stuff as well. But that doesn't make a life, in my opinion. It's more making memories, and having those memories to cherish forever. So, because I knew it helped with my emotional health, I jumped straight in and I got a travel subscription, and I have never looked back. Now, with the travel subscription, what you can actually do is get that subscription for free as well. There's certain ways that you can do that. And I found within the first few weeks of just sharing it with friends that I had who liked to travel, within the first few weeks, my subscription became free because I'd started earning an income from it. But I'd also got to a stage where the income I was earning covered any expenses I had for the subscription. So even though I wasn't paying it out of my pocket, it was getting paid by what I was earning, but the company still continue, and always will do, continue to double the amount that my package is for. So it's genius. So anyway, I then we then go into 2019, and I'd used my membership. There's lots of different ways you can use it. I'm not going to go into detail as to how, but there is a personalized search engine that brings back prices that have no commissions added. So all your search engines that are online, they will add commissions to pay for those big expensive adverts that they have out there when they're walking on the beach and going through all these different things. They all have commission added. We don't. We did search engine that we have doesn't have commission added. So I was using that part of my subscription to attend business events if I needed to stay overnight somewhere. I used it to take the kids away just for a long weekend to places. And I was saving on average between 20 and £50 a time. So that kind of gives you some indication as to what kind of commissions are added on by these other search engines. And I will tell you now that after recent events in 2020, I'm comparing prices that we have through our search engine with others, and the commissions appear to be a lot higher at the minute. And whether that's because they need to claw back money that's been lost over lockdown and all these different things. It's been a different world, hasn't it? So that was my 2019, and then 2020 comes. February half term, I had booked for just me to take the kids away for a week to Norfolk. And I actually booked it around Christmas time. This is the beauty and the joy of what we've got. Christmas can be an expensive time, especially when you've got 4 kids. But because our subscription also allows you to save money on everything, food, electricals, clothing, anything that you might want to buy people for Christmas gifts, all sorts of stuff. I was saving money in that way. So Christmas 2019, I actually booked to go away in the February, which was half term. Now, for that week away, I paid £8.54. £8.54 for 5 of us to stay in Norfolk. It's a beautiful apartment, all fully equipped, everything you could possibly need. Stone's throw away from loads of there's a theme park nearby, a dinosaur type theme park, and lots of different things going on in the local area. It was ideal and it was amazing. And to pay £8.54 at half term in February in the UK is unheard of. Unheard of. So that was my first trip. Now, if we fast forward to sort of a month later, that's when things were starting to close down in the UK. And yeah, we all went through that, and it was a difficult time for some. It was an easier time for others, but it is what it is. So then in the UK here, we start to open up the country again, and in July, it was the 4th of July, they opened up for hospitality again. So me being me and knowing how much I love to get away and how much it helps me and my family, because through that time we were also home learning. Now, I've been told by many people that home learning is nothing like proper home learning. Lockdown home learning is a lot more stressful for some, not for everyone. I know other people have taken to it really well. But for me, I found it really difficult because I've got 2 children that are sort of teenagers, and I've got 2 children that are toddlers and in reception. So trying to combine that kind of work with such various sort of age groups, I found it quite hard. But the kids found it tough as well. And especially the older 2, we were kind of at loggerheads sometimes with getting stuff done, or making sure that they're up in the morning, all sorts of different things. And things were pretty tense in our house by the end of that first lockdown. So when July came and when we could leave the house again, I went straight on 2 weeks before. I think we were told, I can't remember exactly the announcements from the government and everything, but as soon as I found out 4th of July we'd be able to go some other places, I booked to stay in a pine lodge next to a lake in Carnforth, which is just outside the Lake District in the UK. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Fully equipped kitchen. There was like decking outside where you could go and sit and just watch the speedboats go by and the people jet skiing. There was a very small marina where you could go and hire a speedboat. You could go out on that, and they had all the the things that they can pull along on the speedboat. So the older 2 were in their element. They were going on that almost every day, and it was just the release that we needed after a really tough time. And when we got home, we didn't want to come home. But when we got home, my eldest son actually told me, he's a teenager, he's 13. Well, he was 13 at the time, he's 14 now. But he actually said, "That's the best holiday I've ever been on, Mum. It was amazing." And, to hear that and to know that on that trip, we saved 94% on that trip. Yeah, 94%. Based on recommended retail price. We only paid 6% of what everyone else online was paying. So to know that it's done us such good as well, it's win-win all levels, really. So then in the August time, we went to a place that I will recommend that you Google. Absolutely beautiful estate in Cornwall. It's called Clowens Estate, and it's on the grounds of an estate house. And wow, absolutely beautiful, full 5-star accommodation. It was stunning. And it's used, Clarence Estate is used as somewhere that celebrities stay if they're filming on location as well. So I was like having my eye out looking for any famous people that I might recognize. So yeah, absolutely incredible place. It was beautiful, so close to all the beaches, everything you can possibly want in Cornwall. We had it on our doorstep. It was amazing. The place that we stayed was, you would go up some steps. So there was an apartment on the ground floor, which was a smaller apartment that slept four. The apartment we had, you go up some steps and you've got the second and third floor to yourselves. And it slept people. It slept 8 people. And that trip cost us £145 for the week. And I actually did a comparison and what you would be paying on that if you were to go through any other a travel agent, or if you were to book online, any other way that you would book if you didn't have this subscription, you would be paying £3,000. I paid 145, and you would be paying £3,000 for the week. Now that's pretty powerful. And it was a very um, welcome thing to my bank, if I'm being honest. We're staying in this 5-star resort in a beautiful place in the country, in the world. In fact, it's absolutely stunning. And we've also saved a whole lot of money. So with those savings, I mean, we didn't even get up to spending £3,000 whilst we were there. But with some of those savings, we went and had a ball. We had an amazing time. So very, very blessed to have come across our subscription. Doesn't end there though. We went into another lockdown, if you recall, sort of end of August, I think. Things were a little bit up and down in the UK. Um, but by the end of September, we were able to travel again, and by the end of October, sorry, we were able to travel again, and we went up to Scotland, which is somewhere very special to us and the family. My dad lives in Scotland in the Outer Hebrides, up at the very top of Scotland, just those little islands that are on the left-hand side as you're looking at it. He lives there. We've not seen him for 2 years because of everything that's been going on. He doesn't come, he comes down a couple of times a year, but he wasn't able to at all in 2020. So we went up to Scotland and we stayed in a log cabin in the woods. Bearing in mind, end of October, Halloween. It was one of the best Halloweens that we'd had in a long time, because it was just, the kids absolutely adored it. We were in the woods. We were able to take our dog with us as well, and it was just amazing. Um, if you've not been to Scotland, I highly recommend the Highlands, going up to Scotland. Beautiful place. We actually stayed in the Cairngorms, and again, fully equipped kitchen, everything you could possibly need. 3 bedrooms, just amazing. If you think luxury, that's exactly what it was. Um, but while we were there, I didn't want to go home. None of us wanted to go home. And with the kids doing home learning and everything like that, they weren't in school. We booked another week away while we were there. And we literally moved 20 minutes down the road into another beautiful setting, into another beautiful resort, just in a different part of where we were. So we got to see so much. We got so familiar with the place. And I'm gonna be taking the kids back there because it was absolutely amazing. But then again, you've got fully equipped everything. You've got everything you need: dishwasher, um, fridge, freezer, all the pots and pans, everything. You don't need. You're not wanting for anything going to these places. But again, that one was another log cabin in the woods, and it was just magical. It was magical. And there's like tennis courts. There was also a swimming pool that we could use. And the way that they did things there, you would book your slot and it would only be you and your party that were allowed in. So we had the whole pool to ourselves, 45 minutes each time. We were going out, we were going every day to go in the pool. And then they take 15 minutes just cleaning everything, making sure everything is COVID safe. And then they would let the next party in. It's just amazing. We went playing tennis. There was a duck pond there. We went feeding the ducks daily. Oh, it's just incredible. Um, and yeah, we saved as well on that. If I give you some idea as to the second week cost us £45 for the week. Okay. Now, something to just put that in some kind of perspective. We took the dog to both places. They were both dog friendly. And the dog, I received an email before we went, and I received an email saying it's going to cost you an additional £75 for the dog. I was like, are you sure? It's only cost us £45 for six people, never mind one dog. So I gave him a call because I wanted to anyway with the situation and how everything was. I wanted to make sure that it was going to still be available for us. So when I rang, I said, I'm just querying this as well. She said, oh, I'm very sorry, Mrs. Middleton. With the subscription service you have, this is actually waived. You don't have to pay a penny for the dog. And I just thought it was really funny because it would have cost more for the dog to stay than us, you know? But that fee was waived anyway, so we didn't have to pay a penny for the dog. Amazing. But that's my 5 weeks. And over all of those weeks, I paid a tiny amount to what anyone else would have paid who was staying there. And I checked it because I chat to anyone. I get sometimes I get told off of people. I'll just chat to anyone. And when we get chatting, naturally talk about, oh, it's a lovely place. Where did you find your deal? And blah, blah, blah. And those that I did speak to at the different places we stayed, none of them got the kind of discounts I got. And I don't mean that to show off. It's just it's just a fact that I want to share with the whole world. So, but as for my emotional health and our family's emotional health, because we come as a unit, the kids needed that time, I believe. I think they needed to sort of be less restrained. And I'm sure this all resonates with all of you. They needed to just sort of have that breath of fresh air, and it did them the world of good. And it did me the world of good because traveling helps my emotional health. I know that for a fact as well. So, yeah, I saved over £6,000 in 2020 through a global pandemic on 5 weeks away in luxury accommodation through this absolutely extraordinary, life-changing travel subscription service. And I wouldn't be without it. I would not be without it. So I would like to say thank you so much for listening. If this has been shared with you, get back to the person who shared it with you and have a chat with them about how it can help you and your family too. I've been Paula Middleton from Manchester in the UK, and I will see you on the beaches of the world. Thank you. Bye.